parents, I am making this video today to give you guys some tips about how to help your child learn sight words. In your child's AMI packet, one of the things that you will notice under phonics is that an additional option for phonics is to have your child work on Fry's sight words. In your child's second grade AMI packet, there should be a list of Fry's sight words, but don't worry if you have misplaced it. I'm actually going to post a link to a PDF of Fry's sight words in the description of this video. And just in case you hear scratching, that is my cat. But anyway, back to Fry's sight words. The first things first is I'm going to tell you what makes a sight word a sight word. On the one hand, a sight word is oftentimes a word that your child will see in the books that they're reading frequently. However, what really makes a sight word is a word that your child can read by sight or automatically. So it's a word that your child can read with automaticity. So the first thing that you're gonna want to do with this list of Fry's sight words is have your child read the words to you, and you can check off all the words on the list that they know automatically. So on the one hand, it's definitely great if your child is able to sound out a word on the list, but that's not exactly a word that we would consider in their sight word bank. And the other thing about this list is that it's a rather long list, so don't feel the need to have your child read all of the words in one sitting. You can certainly have your child take a break. Additionally, if you notice that your child is missing most of the words that they're attempting, you can go ahead and stop there. The goal is just to get kind of a nice bank of words to start with for your child to learn. So that brings me to the next step, is what you can do on a daily basis or just on Monday through Fridays to help your child learn new sight words. So what I would recommend is that your child pick 2 unknown words a day, which would be 10 a week if you're doing homeschooling on Mondays through Fridays. So let's say 2 words that your child didn't know automatically or by sight were said and take. I'll show you what you would do with those 2 words. I'm going to start first with the word said. So if that was one of your child's words, you would write the word said for them and ask them what letters or group of letters in this word follow the rules for those letters. So for example, S and D both follow the rules for S and D because S says S and D says duh. However, AI is supposed to say A. That's what it usually does. But in this word, it actually says eh. So what your child would want to do is put a heart around AI because this is really a word that they just need to know by heart that in this word, AI is going to say eh. So once your child has identified which letters follow the rule and which do not, the next thing you're going to want to have your child do is write that word 3 times. And you want to make sure that when they write that word, that they are saying that word as they write it. So you would have your child write said, and they can make a heart again around the AI, and they would do that 3 times. So 1, 2, 3. And then finally, you want your child to write the word in a sentence. And it's important that they spell that sight word correctly in the sentence that they write, but it's not important that all of the other words are correct. Because research shows that when a child uses a word in context, it helps them retain that word. So I'll show you another example of a word and how they would label it. The other word I mentioned was take. So if that was your next word for the day, you would write the word take, and let me see, oops, oh no, you can see it. You would write the word take and ask your child the same question. Do the letters in this word follow the rules that they're supposed to, or do they break the rules? So if I look at the word take, every letter actually is following its rule. The T says T. The A says A because the silent E, or magic E at the end, is making it say its name. And then the K says K. So you'll notice that oftentimes the heart words are the words that your child is having a harder time remembering, since the letters or groups of letters are breaking rules. So after your child identifies that all the letters in this word follow the rule, you would want your child to follow the same routine, to write the word take 3 times while saying that word as they write it, and then writing that word in a sentence. So I'll go ahead and give you 2 more examples of words, one of which is a heart word because the letters kind of break the rules, and another word where the letters follow their rules. So I'm just going to move this back just a wee bit. So another word that would be a heart word is would, spelled this way. So I would underline the W and the D because they both follow the rule that they should, but the O-U-L-D is the part of that word that I just need to know what it says by heart, because the L is actually silent. And another example of a word that follows a pattern is help. If I write the word help, I would spell that H-E-L-P, and all the letters do what they're supposed to. So I would underline all the letters in that word. And you'll notice I was using a red marker for my hearts, and certainly doing things with color can make it fun, but that's by no means a requirement. So each day your child would follow that routine with 2 new unknown words that are not automatic for your child, but make sure that they are still continuing to read the other words from earlier in the week. So I'll go ahead and give you guys just a couple of other kind of like games or tips for things that you could do with your child. Another option is that after they practice their words, you can write a word for them, but leave a letter blank. Like, for example, you could write the word help, but leave off the L, and they would have to figure out what letter goes in that blank, and then you would want your child to fill in that letter and then say the word. That's one little fun thing that you can do. You can also work on flashcards for the words that they have for the week. And then there's one other little game that I sometimes play with my students called Zap It. And I'll explain how this works, but it's actually not unique to sight words. You could even do this with their addition or subtraction or multiplication facts, but I'll go ahead and stick to sight words. The way that we play it in the classroom is I will have a jar that has popsicle sticks, and on the end of each popsicle stick, it has a sight word, and I make sure the words are always facing down, but there are a couple of popsicle sticks that say Zap It. And so the way that it works, you can play with 2 people going back and forth, or if you have other family members, you can get 2, 3, 4, 5 people going around in a circle, and you just pull out the popsicle stick, and if you read the word and you read it correctly, you get to keep the word. However, if you pull a popsicle stick that says zap it, you lose all of your popsicle sticks, and you would not believe the suspense of this game. However, if you don't have popsicle sticks at home, that's totally fine. You can just get strips of paper or sticky notes or just any type of paper and write your child's sight words on those sheets of paper, and then put it in a big bowl and just have some of those sheets of paper say zap it, and then you're playing the exact same game, except instead of with popsicle sticks, you're just playing it with sheets of paper. And I've played that with my kids for years, and it never ceases to be entertaining. So listen, I know that you guys didn't sign up for the role of being a homeschool teacher, but I know that you are just rocking that job at home. But just know that if there's ever any questions that you have for me, please don't hesitate to reach out, and I would be glad to help in any way I can. Thanks. Bye.